for not even 4 months now, right? Because we are well into August right now, and you do not even have the entire November with you, right? First, let's understand what the syllabus is, because if you're just starting with DILR, you might not even be aware of the syllabus, which is probably going to take you like, maybe 2 or 3 days, where you can look at all the charts and see how to get data from there, right? Where you are standing, how much do you know already, what is the difficulty level of the paper altogether. Hello everybody, so you know that November 29th is the official date for CAT, and it was any which ways known to us that it was last Sunday of November. But now that the official notification is out and the registrations have started, I know you all are panicking, especially for a section like DILR, because there's exactly 4 months left, for not even 4 months now, right? Because we are well into August right now, and you do not even have the entire November with you, right? Just one day less than November. So with a limited number of days, how are you supposed to strategize so that you can maximize your score in a section like DILR, right? So let's quickly talk about a 4-month strategy for a section like DILR. Now you need to understand that you might not be at the same level as others when compared to your confidence level with a section like DILR, right? So first, let's understand what position you are at right now. Are you at 0%? That means, are you starting right now, or are you at 20 to 40%? That means you've already started a little bit, you're done with, say, about 30-40% of the syllabus you're over with. Now what am I supposed to do? If you are at a 60 to 80%, that means you're done with majority of the syllabus, you're still in the practicing mode. Or are you at 100% plus confidence level? That means you're done with all the concepts, you're regularly practicing, you're into the mock giving mode right now, right? So these are your levels. You need to understand at what level you are and use that particular strategy, because the strategy that I would give for someone here will obviously not be the same to the strategy that I would give here. Okay, so you need to understand your level and then follow the strategy. So let's talk about a 0% strategy. What is a person who's just starting or has just recently started with DILR supposed to do? First, let's understand what the syllabus is, because if you're just starting with DILR, you might not even be aware of the syllabus. So under data interpretation, you have tables, pie charts, bar graphs, line graphs, miscellaneous charts, which will include your candlestick charts, your bubble charts, your scatter plot, your triplots, your radar chart, and all that. Then multiple charts, where you have more than one chart given in a set. And then word problems. These are basically your caselets that do not have any charts or tables, but have a lot of data given in the text form, right? Then you have logical reasoning, where you have arrangements, circular linear distribution, games and tournaments, maps and networks, and puzzles. And then you have some topics that cannot be, certainly be told if it is part of DI or LR. So I've put them here, which is one, Venn diagrams, and the second, missing data, where there might be a chart or a table given to you with some pieces of data missing there intentionally, and then there'll be some conditions given. So this is DI also, LR also, a good mix of it. Okay, so this is your syllabus. Now let's talk about, if you are at the 0% stage, what are you supposed to do? So the month of August, that is this month right now, you're supposed to give it to level 1 topics. Level 1 topics for you would be distribution and arrangements, data interpretation. I'm putting data interpretation as a whole, because for DI what you actually need is just understand how to read the charts, which is probably going to take you like, maybe 2 or 3 days, where you can look at all the charts and see how to get data from there, right? But the majority part of that is the math behind it. Yes, that is understanding the basic operations, understanding percentages, averages, ratios. How are you supposed to, if you have to end up using a variable, then how are you supposed to form equations with it, so on and so forth, right? How to compare, how to analyze an answer, how to compare percentage changes, how to compare ratios, how to compare fractions, so on and so forth, right? So this is what is going to take you a larger amount of time, but this is just a 2 or 3 day task, that's it. Yes. Now with math also, again, since you any which ways will be doing that in the quant also, right? Majority arithmetic is what gets tested under DI. So if you're going to do it there, then once you do it there, then you do DI will make more sense to you. Do this after arithmetic, okay? If you're doing this before arithmetic, then it's going to take you a larger amount of time to understand how percentages work, how are you supposed to compare, so on and so forth. Then comes Venn diagrams and then PYQs. Now understand one thing, I am putting Venn diagrams next to distribution and arrangements because of its importance. We have seen Venn diagrams being frequently tested, and Venn diagrams honestly have nothing to do directly with logical reasoning or directly with data interpretation. It's more like a standalone concept, right? So that's why I've put it here. And with previous year questions, my suggestion would be you can start in the reverse chronological order. Start with CAT 2025, the recent ones. Then once you're done with all the 3 slots, go for 24, 3 slots, 23, 3 slots, so on and so forth. You can keep going as back as you can, as long as you have the time to do it. Yes. Now, in the month of September, what are you supposed to do? Whatever you did in August, continue practicing, right? The practice part for this is very, very important. And you start your level 2 topics. Level 2 topics are puzzles, missing data, and again, previous year questions relating to that, or just randomly, whatever helps you the most. Yes. Then once level 2 topics are done for September, then in October you continue practicing the level 2 topics, and then you can start with level 3 topics, which is roots and networks or maps and networks, games and tournaments. Now October is the month when you start giving actual full length test. Full length test given in the month of August or September for you guys at 0% would make no sense at all, and the score will be rather demotivating for you. But if you want to give a diagnostic test to understand where you are standing, you can start off with giving a diagnostic test also here. Yes, give a diagnostic test to understand where you are standing, how much do you know already, what is the difficulty level of the paper altogether, what would be the process of it, to understand the format of it, you can give it. Okay. So level 3 topics you are done, and then you start giving bi-weekly mocks plus start doing analysis for it. So bi-weekly means what? Not twice in 1 week, no, the other way around. Once in 2 weeks. Yeah. So let's say October 1 to 14 you give one mock, then 15 to 30, 31 you give one mock, like that. One mock every 2 weeks. Yes. Then November you continue practicing with level 3 topics, and then November would purely be mocks and previous year questions, nothing more, right? November should be properly dedicated to mocks and mocks only, right? You start giving weekly mocks once every week you can give, plus doing analysis of it for the first 2 weeks, and for the last 2 weeks you can give 2 mocks per week plus analysis. Yeah, one mock every two mocks every week you can start giving here in the last 2 weeks. So technically, if you look at the sum total number of mocks that you're giving, here you will be giving 2 mocks, here you will be giving 2 mocks, and here you will be giving 4 mocks. So on total you have 8 full length mocks plus whatever diagnostic test you're doing, plus whatever sectional test if you are giving, or topic wise test if you are giving, right? So this would be an ideal situation for you, for people who are starting in the month of August. Because you're starting in the month of August, you have to give an extra time, guys. Yes, you have to give extra hours every day, because you who are starting now in the month of August and somebody who had started in the month of January or February would obviously be way ahead of you, right? And they'd be more comfortable than you. So you need to accept that fact and start preparing accordingly. Okay. For you, please understand, for someone who's starting now, accuracy is much more important than time. Don't think about if a particular question is taking you longer amount of time, it's okay. Yes, focus on accuracy. Try getting maximum questions right, not maximum questions answered in the given time. No, answering quickly but answering them incorrectly will not give you anything. In fact, it will give you negative marks. Okay. So do more, focus more on accuracy. It's okay if it's taking you a little longer also, but focus more on accuracy than on the time. Yeah. So on the whole, you are giving around 8 marks, again provided if you get comfortable around the month of September end or October. Also, if you want to start giving weekly tests, that's up to you. So that's why I'm saying total marks would be greater than equal to 8. So at least 8 marks you have in your bag. Yeah. And your daily target should be at least 3 sets. You cannot go lesser than 3 sets. You have to do at least 3 sets, whether you're doing them from DPPs or you're doing them from YouTube or you're doing them from the books. Whatever that works for you, start doing that. Okay. So that was for 0%. Now let's move on to somebody who's at the 20 to 40% level. So I think you've understood the format, how we are going rolling with this. So 20 to 40% form, if you are in that particular zone, then August, start off with level 1 topics, this, start giving PYQs. September, continue practicing, start giving level 2 topics, this, and PYQs again. October, continue with the practice, start with level 3 topics, this, and bi-weekly mocks. Yeah. November, continue with the practice and start giving 2 mocks per week. Yes. So this way, if you are at 20 to 40% level, that means August, September, October, mid, you should be done with your entire syllabus, right? Then at the end of October, the last 2 weeks that you have, you can start giving weekly mocks from then on, right? So for you, again, accuracy is important, but you can start giving a little bit attention to the amount of time that you're taking, right? So avoid making silly mistakes, avoid reading the set very quickly, avoid not understanding what the actual question is trying to tell you and just rushing to the answer. Yes, start analyzing the questions, start doing all of this, yes, so that you can reduce the amount of time that you're taking per set, but again not at the expense of accuracy. Accuracy is still priority number 1, but you can start looking at the timer, you can start looking at how much time you're taking per set and all that. Okay, so for you, the total marks that you're giving is at least 9. You're giving at least 9 marks, which is a good number for someone who's just recently started. 9 to 10 marks is good for you. It's not the best, but it's not bad. Yeah. Daily target for you would also be around 3 sets. 3 sets. Even if you're doing 3 sets or 4 sets, start doing good quality sets. Yes, it's always quality over quantity. If you're focusing on, if I do only 3 sets per day, then in 100 days I'm doing only 300 sets. That's not enough, sir, and I can't be practicing DILR every day. In that case, then if you are if you're compromising on that, you have to start focusing more on the quality of the sets. Yes, don't look at the quantity, don't count the number of sets, rather look at how many different kinds of approaches have you learnt, how many different kind of concepts have been tested in those sets that you practiced. Okay, now, so we're done with 0 and we're done with 20 to 40% confidence level. Now let's go to 60 to 80% confidence level. If you're someone who's at 60 to 80% confidence level, that means you're almost done with your syllabus. Yes, only a couple more classes are left for you and you are regularly practicing. That's very important, right? So for you, August, go for, again, because you're done with the syllabus, you only have to focus on the practice. You don't even have to learn the concepts anymore, and it's DILR, boss. There's no revision. What will you revise? There's no formula or notes or something that you have to revise, right? It's just practice. Revision for DILR basically means practice, right? You can start practicing on level 1 topics, that's distribution, DI, puzzles, Venn diagrams, so that you have majority areas covered, right? And if you want, you can start giving PYQs as mocks also. Previous year questions, start giving them as mocks if you want. Okay, so that will be your August month plan. Then September, again level 2 practice, which is roots and networks, games and tournaments, missing data, and previous year questions for that. October, you can start practicing level 3 topics, and by revision what I mean is, if you have some particular topic which you're not feeling very confident with, you can go back to that particular lecture and solve the questions that we solved in the class, or you can have a look at the DPPs from there and start solving them. Okay, and you can start giving bi-weekly mocks. Focus on analysis part, very very important. And November is full mocks for you, completely mocks. 2 mocks per week in the first 2 weeks and 3 mocks per week in the last 2 weeks, right? 3 mocks per week might seem a little extensive. So what you're doing, 3 mocks per week is alternate days. Monday you are giving a mock, Tuesday you analyze, take rest. Wednesday you're giving a mock, Thursday you're analyzing and taking rest, so on and so forth. So Monday when you're giving a mock, you're spending 2 hours there, right? You still have the remaining amount of time left for you. So in that time you can maybe start, practicing. You have other subjects also, right? Other sections also. So you'll be focusing on that also. You will be revising for quant. You will be practicing reading for RC and all that. Yes. So keeping that in mind, this is the idea here. So for you, accuracy and time both equally important. Yes, but obviously not one at the expense of the other. But since you're someone who's been practicing for a very long time, you know different variety of sets. You know how to select the right kind of set for the mocks. You know how you're supposed to look at a set, analyze it, and understand whether it's doable right now or doable later or skippable. Yes, so that's something you know. So you have to start managing your time also, so that you can maximize your score in the section, right? So for you, the idea is, again, your target should be around 2 to 3 sets in the mock. If it's a 5-set mock, 2 to 3 sets. If it's a 4-set mock, then 2 sets, right? So around 50% and more should be your target. You do not have to answer all the sets. You cannot, in fact, and you should not. But once you're done with the mocks, when you're analyzing, please solve all the sets. That's very very important. Yeah. For you, you'd have about 12 mocks, full length mocks that you can give. This is excluding your diagnostic test, excluding your PYQ mocks, excluding your sectional mocks and all that, topic wise test and all that, right? Full length, proper 2 hour mocks, you can give at least 12 if you plan it properly. And your daily target should be 4 sets. Again, quality over quantity. 4 very small sets will help you in doing nothing, right? So start investing on high quality sets. If you're someone who cannot sit for all 4 sets at a stretch, split it across the day. You can split it as 2 2, or you can do it 1 1 1 1 every quarter of the day if you want. Okay. Now moving on to people who have already started maybe in the month of December or January, or are practicing for more than a year, or someone who's a repeater. Yes, for you guys, 100% plus is what you should be following. So August, proper practice for level 1, distribution, DI, puzzles, Venn diagrams, roots and networks, and PYQ. So I am changing level 1 topics depending upon which stage you are at, right? So if you are at 100% plus, then for you level 1 are all these. Continue with the practice. September, level 2 topics are going to be games, tournaments, missing data, revision. And again, when I say revision, what do I mean? If you are a little bit confused or not very confident about a particular concept, you can go revisit them, or try solving the sets again, do the DPPs, so on and so forth, right? So more revision means either watching the lecture again or doing extensive practice on that particular topic so that you can understand. October, you can continue with your regular practice, yes, but make sure you give 2 mocks per week. Sounds extensive, but this is in the second half of October, right? So you will basically be giving, in the last 2 weeks of October, you will be giving 4 mocks there, yes. And then November, you continue doing regular practice, and from the second week onwards, you can start giving 3 mocks per week. See, the idea behind giving more mocks is you'll get to try variety of difficulty levels, right, of the paper. The entire paper can be either on the easier side or moderate side, or on the harder side or extremely complicated side, right? It could be in one of these areas. You'll get to test out all the different zones. You will get to try out different strategies. You'll also get to understand how you're supposed to select the right kind of set, how you're supposed to look at a set and decide whether it's doable or not, how you're supposed to manage your time for that, how to focus more on accuracy. All these strategies, you can quickly try them out, figure out what works best for you, and then you can give it a shot and test it out also. And for you, the most important part is the analysis bit. You have to analyze the paper properly because of the given 4 or 5 sets. Did you choose the right kind of set or not? Did you spend more time on the wrong kind of set? Were you not able to complete the paper? Because sometimes that could happen. You look at a set, you start solving it, and then you realize 30 minutes are gone. There's only 10 minutes left and 4 sets to look at, where that first set also you were not able to solve accurately. So you can start avoiding these situations the more you give mocks. For you, because also if you are a repeater, you've already given CAT the last year or the year before that. So you've gone through the entire process, you know what exactly happens on the D day, right? When you're sitting in front of the your CAT interface, whatever you practice for a very long time, whatever strategies you have in mind, sometimes they fail, sometimes they don't work as expected, right? What you have to do at that stage is adapt to the given situation and then come up with a better strategy on the spot. So giving more mocks will give you that confidence to be able to do that. For you, again, accuracy and time should be at equal importance. You cannot compromise one at the expense of the other, right? You have to be very careful. You cannot randomly answer questions because that could probably be one of the reasons why you're repeating CAT this year. And you cannot sit and get fixated on one particular set and spend so much time on that you don't have enough time to go through the others also. So that's very, very important. You will be giving the maximum number of mocks. You will be giving around 20 mocks if you plan it properly. More than 20 if you give these previous year questions also as mocks. Yes, you can go as back as 2017 because I'm assuming if you're a repeater, you would have probably done the older ones. Start from 2025, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20 at least, right? So these 6 years, 25 to 20, you should definitely be doing so that you get used to the kind of sets they throw at you. And you will realize how difficulty level changes. How CAT 2023 difficulty level has literally nothing to do with CAT 2024 difficulty level. Yes, you will see a huge gap, a humongous gap between the difficulty level. But then eventually the difficulty level was common for everybody, right? So you'll realize all these things when you do PYQs, okay? And for you, the target is daily 5 sets because you might not take as much time as others are taking. But if you're still taking a lot of time, you can start strategizing with it. You can start understanding what approach is missing. Start focusing on the approach more. Yeah. So with this, I think we've covered all the grounds. Yes, you tell me in the comments which stage you are at. Are you at 0% or you at 20 to 40 or 60 to 80 or 100%? Let me know in the comments. Yes. So this is the Telegram group, the official Telegram group for my DILR. People who are practicing DILR have doubts about it. And since we are also doing regular YouTube sessions, so that we can keep you involved in a lot more quality sets and more, questions, previous year questions and all that. So you can join this group to get updates on the upcoming sessions. Yeah. I hope this video helps you guys. All the very best. Cheers.